All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave on the Harmless Dave channel, talking about real music and doing it in real time for a few real people out here, just like you and just like me. All right, some crazy stuff going on in the music world with regard to all of that money that was given out back in 2022. And it was given out because everything was locked down. And apparently, a bunch of people were abusing. Who would have ever thought that? Abusing meaning they're taking more money than they were supposed to, even though they were still making lots of money. That's why we had all that inflation. All right. I don't want to go down that rabbit trail. I'm trying to be more diplomatic and, the even more harmless Dave than before. So here's Lone Rider. All right. Down in the dust. This is the real music part of this particular video. If you like Bad Company, it is very derivative of Bad Company. In fact, Simon Kirke plays drums on this. And the great Steve Overland handles lead vocals. And for the most part, people have been giving me some positive feedback about this. Some great Hammond B3 organ on this particular album by Steve Mann. So the material, excellent, high-quality material produced by the band themselves. I think they understand how to be a little bit like Bad Company. So if you like that sound, this is the heir apparent to that sound, and that is their third album courtesy of Escape Music, and it's really good. So let me dig into this story because it's not cool. So the Business Insider is reporting that Alice in Chains, Shinedown, and a few others apparently were abusing American taxpayers for things like luxury hotels, shopping sprees, and million-dollar bonuses. And the Business Insider has called out several different acts across multiple genres, including Alice in Chains and Shinedown. In some of the cases, there were clear misuse of pandemic funds for personal benefit. For instance, the investigation uncovered that rapper Lil Wayne spent $1.3 million of his $8.9 million grant to cover private jet flights, while spending another $460,000 on clothes and accessories from high-end clothing labels. The report also notes pop star Chris Brown spent $80,000 on a birthday party while claiming $5.1 million of his company's $10 million grant for himself. So Chris Brown took more than half of the money and gave it to himself. All right, and there's more. Shinedown and Alice in Chains, they are also guilty of some chicanery here. Not quite as egregious, but it indicates how both bands had members taking million-dollar-plus sums of grant money for themselves. Again, this is all according to Business Insider. The money that was doled out to musicians came from the Shuttered Venue Operations Grant. Catchy name. Congress must have coined the name. The Shuttered Venue Operations Grant, or SVOG. By the way, this happened during Donald Trump's last administration. According to Business Insider, the program was designed to help independent venues and arts groups who were struggling during the pandemic. Yes, that was the first of two ginormous stimulus packages, which caused crazy, out-of-control inflation more than anything else. With a forced break from touring, bands were left without their primary livelihood. But soon, some of those responsible for band finances figured out that even big-name musical artists could be eligible for grant money through the loan-out companies. So these are loan-out companies I don't know. It sounds like they're government affiliated loan out companies. But anyway, there were eligibility requirements that had to be met. Per the report, grantees could receive up to $10 million to spend on ordinary or necessary expenses for their businesses. In order to do so, they had to make a good faith statement to the Small Business Administration that the grant was necessary. So all they had to do was make a statement. All right. And to support what they called ongoing operations and show that revenue had dropped by at least 25% between one quarter in 2019 and the same quarter in 2020. Interesting. So the SBA claims they followed the law with the grant disbursements. So they're wiping or washing their hands of this. The law directed the organization to examine a band's revenue, not their assets. No, just their revenue. So long as their loan out company could show revenue had declined, the bands could be eligible. So Alice in Chains singer Jerry Cantrell allegedly received $1.4 million as an SVOG distribution from the records shown back on March 23rd of 2022. A transaction took place that day, which apparently sent Jerry $1.4 million. Fellow founding drummer Sean Kinney received the same amount, while bassist Mike Inez, who joined the band later in their career, received only $682,000. That's it. Just less than half of what those other guys got. But yeah, maybe Mike can get by with $682,000. Not sure. The total amounts to over $3.4 million of the $4.1 million that the band reportedly received in the grant. So Alice in Chains got $4.1 million, and the three band members took $3.4 million of it. The band's entertainment division, AIC, which is run by those three members, had to make their case that the money was necessary. But the report from Business Insider notes that a month before they took the grant payments, the group recorded, get this, a $48 million income because they sold the rights to their music catalog. They also reportedly made hundreds of thousands of dollars from merchandise sales and other distributions in 2022. So they were still making tons of money despite the lockdowns and all the crazy. I don't even want to think about what they did. It just is really sad what happened. And apparently they just gave out a bunch of money to people. The report does credit the band with spending some of the money to pay their staff. Okay, that's good news. While hundreds of thousands went to sound equipment rental firms, videographers, and managers. In a sad part of the report, though, and this is really a super sad part of this report, the band's guitar tech and photographer, his name is Scott Datrodin, had been diagnosed with cancer in late 2022. It might be Doc Rodin. Anyway, as the band did not use the grant money on benefits, this gentleman didn't have health insurance. The group actually set up a GoFundMe to help and later connected him with a charity that helps with medical bills. But the guitar tech died not long after his diagnosis. So these guys are spending millions of dollars. This guy doesn't have health insurance. They have to set up a GoFundMe, and later he dies. So anyway, they have Alice in Chains has no comment on any of this. Shinedown also took some money here. Not quite as much. No, actually, it might be more. $8.3 million was the grant for Shinedown. So yeah, a little bit less than I think the $14 million that Alice in Chains just got in this report. 2.5 million went to 3 band members, while all 4 members of the band got an additional $100,000 each. Sorry, of the 1.2 million that was allocated for payroll. The breakdown notes that 15 touring production workers received a combined $650,000 of the grant money, which is less than any single member of the band. That is roughly $43,000 per worker. Remember when $43,000 was considered a decent yearly salary? Yeah. So Shinedown, again, has no comment. No response has been received. People have reached out to see what their defense was going to be for all this stuff, but it appears that the Business Insider has gotten a scoop here on what happened during the pandemic and the so-called stimulus, which apparently only helped a few people at the top of every organization. And that's typically how it goes. So I don't know. The Guitar Tech thing, that's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking. That might have still happened, but at least they could have allocated resources to help that guy, and he might still be here if they had done that. All right, Lone Rider, sorry, this is kind of a Debbie Downer video. The album is called Down in the Dust, coincidentally, and it's available now if you'd like to order yourself a copy. Probably won't be here in time for Christmas, but, you know, buy it anyway. Just buy it for yourself as a gift to yourself. That's all. Especially if you don't get what you really want for Christmas. You know, just I tend to do that stuff like, you know what? I'm just going to get this for myself because every day is Christmas. And don't forget, Jesus is the reason for the season, but as I've been saying, he's the reason for every season. So be thankful each day and follow Jesus. Your life won't be perfect, but he was perfect, so you don't have to be perfect. That's the beauty of all of that. God bless everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching the channel, and I'll be back soon. So stay tuned, and don't forget to subscribe.